Drink up. Can you put that drink down like right now? Why? Why? Because you've been drinking for a week straight, and that too straight. You're becoming dead weight. And you said you would stop. You said you would stop, but you really love to make us wait. How long can this go on for? You do stop at times, but when you start, you want even more. Hey, cheers. Drink up. This red cup. This red cup. How many families, how many communities has it destroyed? Culturally, we enjoy what usually is inside this red cup. If you know, you know. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't indulge. This is just water for dramatic purposes. But anything in excess can become detrimental. I know specifically in the Indian culture, in Indian society, alcoholism has become incredibly rampant. But if we go beyond that, because that is my shared experience or what I've seen, if we dive deeper, just look at society at a large, we see that too much drinking, for lack of a better word, too much in the context where it impacts your daily life, where one night turns into 2 to 3 to 4, where drinking isn't just done socially or with friends or family or for occasion. It becomes something that overtakes, something that creates a divide amongst your loved ones. It is, in a sense, a disease. The addiction aspect of it, the dependency, it is all real. However, the other side of that coin, we still have to create space where we kick that addiction out. The cries, the families that get broken up and forever are left fractured, they do so because we're unable to grip, unable to let go. It is something that is on the rise, that plagues society, that I've seen personally up close and at a front row seat at times as it's made its way through some people I've loved. And I always worry myself as I enjoy a few beverages here and there. And I always say they're just socially or with friends and family, and never does it linger and become a burden. But who knows? Because that seed resides within me, perhaps. See, addiction is real. It takes a hold of you and just doesn't let you go. It's like somebody pushing you down into water and wanting to drown you, and you want to get up, but you just can't fight the current and the powerful, the vastness that is holding you and submerging you within. Then there is the other side, where we're drinking to cope. We're drinking to run away from something missing internally, where there's problems, perhaps when we were younger, or things that have happened in our lives that we just can't shake off and can't quite get out of. So we indulge. And we forget about our worries. We forget about our cares, right? It numbs us. Because the last thing we want to do is think sober-minded. And that's a slippery slope. When it's out of depression, and then it too can become an addiction, and the pendulum swings back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And sooner than later, you wake up needing it. You try to fall asleep and you need it. And sober becomes a distant truth, whereas intoxication becomes the one that you see clearly. How do we engage in conversation where we can make this less and less of a burden, where we can stop this before it becomes so detrimental, where it becomes destructive to the point of no return? I know we have AA and therapy and all kinds of conversation around this subject matter. But how do we kick it out? How do we lift this cloud, this black cloud that hovers over societies, families, and lingers and hovers? How do we make sure that this isn't constantly and consistently happening over and over again? How do we break the cycle? I don't have a clear answer. I don't have a remedy per se, except that we have to quit. But that seems too simple. That seems too straightforward. I mean, duh. If we're not drinking, the drinking cannot create divide. But how do we stop drinking when drinking has become something that gives us this break from society, and then it becomes this cycle, this loop that we can't get off? We're in this rat race of alcoholism. That's when it gets bad. And that's the answer of how do we do it? Because our loved ones suffer while our loved one is suffering. Let me know your thoughts, comments. How can we better our society? How do we take this affliction that has run rampant for some time now? How do we nip it in the bud? How do we reduce? How do we minimize? Because I just know, looking around, glaring at the issue, that it is prevalent. And I wish I could come on here and give you direction or guidance or an answer. I don't know myself. I'm just the guy that's saying, hey, we need to do something here. And I'm just a hypocrite myself with the seed that lies within. But I've seen it in and around me. I've heard of it through the grapevine, that this thing, when allowed to run your life, it rarely takes good care of you. So let me know. Share some experiences. And enjoy this recap, this spoken word called Drink Up.
Drink up. Can you put that drink down like right now? Why? Why? Because you've been drinking for a week straight, and that too straight. You're becoming dead weight. And you said you would stop. You said you would stop, but you really love to make us wait. How long can this go on for? You do stop at times, but when you start, you want even more. See, this is more than a pattern, more than a habit. One that's hard to ignore. A full-blown addiction. And look around at the ones your actions are causing an affliction. 2 tears replacing cheers, or rather, cheers causing fears instead of objects. It's destruction in the mirror that may appear closer. See, you can lose your mind, and that's fine. And see, you can lose your time, and that's fine. But what about your loved ones that are crying, that are trying? And what about your respect and your integrity? What then will you have if you become stripped bare? Another drink while your loved ones are shoved aside as spectators left to stare. Now tell me, is that fair? When you're a bottle deep, do you even care? I mean, I know you do, and this thing has a hold on you, an obstacle that won't let you through. You're falling, wanting to be spared, but another drink is calling, and a wink, and I'll be right there is your response. A need almost beyond wants. A need almost beyond wants, a can't help it mentality, lost is you and all rationality, thrust into its mercy, and redemption is costly, but so is not stopping. It's a disease, but you have the remedy. You have the remedy. Cut it out or stay bottle popping. Just don't expect those around to be found if you only serve one master. Sorry to be such a grim forecaster. Drink up.